Well, at least they are still more organized than the Olympics. We opened this week with Joe coaching a kid's baseball team before, oh geez, we're already doing this? Well, okay, it actually shouldn't be too surprising that a show in this particular franchise would want to get right into the baseball episode. After all, ever since Super Sentai's OG Himitsu Sentai Go Ranger, over-the-top baseball episodes have kind of been a tradition, to the point that Dynamon originally was going to be a full-on baseball Sentai until it was changed to science. And why does this franchise have such an obsession with baseball?
I don't know.
Maybe someone at Toei just really liked baseball to the point that not only would they insist that they tried to do at least one episode every season, if possible, but they'd also bring back the Monster of the Week from that Go Ranger episode, Baseball Mask, for the anniversary seasons and films of Gokaiger and Zenkaiger, even though most viewers probably would have to ask their grandparents who this guy was, and why he sounded like Master Shafu, also rest in peace. But yeah, from a cursory glance of Sentai episodes with baseball, I think, aside from of course the OG, this episode might have also been set up appropriately enough to another season that rather nicely correlated with this one, and it's not Boonboomger as we already did that, but more on that later. Anyway, to set the plot into motion, the descendant of Baseball Mask fired a beam at the baseball team. Oh god, he hit them with the reality beam. I mean, come on, dude. You could at least give these kids a few more years before social media turns them into apathetic a-holes. Thus, of course, Joe decided to beat the Hashan at their own game and challenge them to a round of baseball. And to really hammer home how this episode shouldn't be taken too seriously, they not only kind of broke the fourth wall with the announcer giving the episode number, but they also gave everyone an introduction like this were an actual game. Yeah, also, shouldn't you be working on your little subplot that's kind of gone nowhere? Tomioka's not back yet? Okay. Anyway, the Hashiran were batting first, and I guess they just decided that they'd be playing by their house rules. Thus, not only were they allowed running subs in the form of an RC car, like seriously, I died to be on set to see Yarkar run the bases, but they also allowed for multiple home runs. And here I thought Tribe 9 had the most ridiculous rules. Come on, somebody tell me I'm not the only one who remembers this show. Next up to bat was Baseball Mask the 30th, who proceeded to KO the pitcher. Thanks to Budoyo, they at least got an out, but Joe himself would be out of the game until the final inning. And I guess for Hashiran rules, called games aren't a thing. All seemed lost, but of course our heroes weren't willing to give up. Shrabe, are you trying to pull off that gritty anime coach thing, or are you just legit kind of dirty? Because, either way, just wipe here, yeah, just wipe here. Anyway, after a legit awesome bro moment between Taya and Joe, though really any scene with Joe is a bro moment, they resumed the game. And I guess they really did need his leadership, otherwise I have no idea why the Henshin heroes didn't think to suit up after at least the 100th home run. Though I'll give them this, they do kind of pull off the jersey looks well. Thanks a lot, coach. Now can you also tell me what happens when people are killed? Anyway, they managed to load up the bases, which of course left it up to Taya to bring it all home. However, Baseball Mask Jr. still had his last cheat as he decided to fill up the ball with his own soul. Okay, please tell me that was a legit blooper that they decided to work with, because that was just too perfect to be scripted. But yeah, he created a flaming baseball with googly eyes on it. I think this might be a reference to Car Ranger's own baseball episode, where the monster there, you could also say, infused a bit of himself into his pitches. Granted, it was more implied to be legit skill with him, rather than just a full-on cheat code, as the ball was actually sentient here, but the general idea was still there at least. Still, since his opponent was cheating, Taya didn't exactly have to play fair either. Taya, I'm pretty sure the game's already over. Nah, of course, I'm sure he just gavined that transformation, so he managed to hit the ball, and the Boonboomger ran the bases with a little boost from their watches. Of course, for the sake of dramatic tension, they just so happened to lose speed just before the final game point, which they got through a sliding finish. With that, they won the game, and even blew up the monster. However, they still needed a giant monster fight, as well as a showcase for their new mech. So they decided to just set the whole set on fire.
I've got it! Arson!
But yeah, as I keep saying, I'm always impressed when they use actual fires for these stunts. I mean, not only were the suit actors probably sweating even more bullets than usual from all of the additional heat, but they also had to be really careful to not completely set their clearly indoor staging ablaze. I just imagine it takes a lot of skill and organization to pull off stunts like this with minimal CGI, and I can only applaud the staff for it. Thus, it made for the perfect stage for the debut of a new form. Like, seriously, I can't be the only one who thinks those shoulders look like RID primes, right? Anyway, after some more impressive literal firefights, the Boonboomger defeated the monster and hopefully protected their safety deposits on their warehouse sets. With that, the episode ended with the kids getting over their emo phases, at least for a few more years, while the Boonboomger learned how to truly appreciate baseball, even if it might have cost them a window or two. Well, this was yet another filler episode meant to kill time until Tomioka comes back from writing the summer movie. It is also part of a long tradition, so I can't exactly argue against its inclusion. Hell, even if I was inclined to, I think I would still find this the fun kind of filler, as is so often the case with these sorts of episodes in Sentai. It blends all sorts of sports anime cliches, as well as throws in some good tokusatsu action, so why not just enjoy it for what it is? While I'm still not exactly sure why baseball episodes are a tradition in this franchise, maybe someone could tell me in the comments, I think this episode was at least able to give me a good idea why. And that's simply because it's a fun premise. I mean, you got multicolored superheroes swinging bats, or even makeshift bats, to defeat ridiculous monsters with baseball for heads. It's that kind of campy fun that this franchise was built on, so why not revisit it from time to time? Not to mention, there is a lot of overlap with your typical shonen sports manga and Sentai when it comes to the ideals of teamwork. Everyone plays their roles and goes all out to ensure victory for the team. If one player is hurt, then symbolically, they all share the pain with them before making a dramatic comeback. Of course, this episode took it to quite the extreme thanks to Hashiran's insane rules, but honestly, that just made it all the more fun. And while I'm still waiting impatiently on Shiabe's story to continue, this was at least one of the more entertaining uses of the character so far as a wannabe Coach Oda. And after an over-the-top game of Shaolin baseball, we got a pretty awesome debut for the Boonboomger Robo 119 surrounded by actual fire. I mean, come on, that's pretty much the same backdrop that they used for Ryuki Survive's debut, so how could it not look amazing, especially as they continued surrounded by fires and explosions all over the damn place. Thus, and while I certainly want the main plot to continue already, this was overall a fun episode that might have also been a bit of a nice little send-up to similar episodes of the past. Sometimes certain traditions are a thing for a reason, and hey, as long as they feature the best boy in the show, I'll call it a home run in my book at least. Thank you for watching, and here's hoping that these summer months are at least treating you mercifully. Call it global warming or what have you, temperatures are certainly rising, so do keep yourself hydrated and maybe invest in a fan or two. And until next time though, farewell for now my friends, and looks like it went into the sandlot. Hey, your guys' problem, not mine.